I ran my business in Cochrane, Alberta for the last 6 years. Started when I was 18, now I'm 24. It feels like a lifetime ago when I signed with you at the University of Lethbridge. In that 6 years, I have had the opportunity to sell and produce a little over $1.4 million in painting projects. Through that, I have been able to employ, I think it's over 50 or 60 full-time painters throughout the summer, all university age. So that's been super fantastic, super fulfilling to give them a new life skill that they'll take with them forever. For some of them, give them like their first positive working environment, which has been really fulfilling for me. And then just foster a lot of like really great relationships with them, which has been fantastic. I've been able to work with over 450 clients over that time. So getting to know their stories and meet their families and just be inside their space and really get to learn about them has been super cool. The things that they've taught me over the years has been very, very good.
No, I think that's good. Yeah. So let's,
Okay.
so we've kind of done this interview every year, except for last year. We didn't do it in year five.
Yeah.
So let's just do maybe a quick recap of like what was year five compared to year four, and then we'll kind of dive into year six.
Year four was my $300,000 year, my biggest year to date at that time. And it was a really fantastic year. Honestly, everything ran really smoothly. I had really great painters. I honestly don't remember too much about it.
That's fine.
Obviously, it was a couple years ago, but I do have like fond memories of it. I don't remember, any of the bad things or anything.
Perfect.
I'm sure little things came up, but we dealt with them and it was fine, as I do every year. And then last year, the goal was to do 400, but unfortunately, I had some health issues and different things come up, so I wasn't able to put in as much time as I wanted to into my business. And then the time I was able to put into it, the sales just kind of weren't always in my favor, so that was a little frustrating. So I actually ended up only finishing the year at about 240,000, which was still fine. It was still good. Don't want to discount that for anyone who that goal might be. It's still a fantastic business. I was very happy with the business that I did run. We had, for the most part, pretty happy clients. Again, I don't really remember any of the bad things as they're happening. You're like, this is the end of the world, but then you get like even 6 months to a year out and you don't even remember them. So what may seem like the end of the world in the moment, give it time, you'll find something different. But yeah, it was still a good year all in all. I gave it what I could. And then they kind of just motivated me more to come back this year and actually hit the goal of 400,000, which we did. So I'm super happy and stoked about that. And just kind of be a little bit more appreciative of the 400,000 now that it took me 2 years to finally hit it. So really happy and proud of that. But yeah, I feel like I was fine with us not doing a year-end interview last year. So I was like, that's fine. We don't need to talk about that because in my mind, I failed. But looking back on it now, I am like appreciative of all of the rough years or the not so great years where
Mm-hmm.
things didn't go how I wanted. Just because it's taught me more than the years that did go how I wanted. So I feel like that was kind of a thing you don't see super often. I mean, sometimes where, yeah, someone will be constantly kind of growing and then kind of fall off one year and do less than they did the previous year without planning to. So it was a really educational time for me to kind of reset and regroup for this year and come back a little stronger for this year.
Sure. Yeah. So what do you think? So like, yeah, I know at the end of year five, it didn't seem like obviously the business was fine. You made money, things were good. But what made you want to, I guess, sign back, come back for another year? And then what made, I guess we're like, and then like what mindset did you have like coming into year six with, hey, I'm still going to go after that kind of like $400,000 goal, even though I came up, fairly short in year 5 compared to even like year 4 was much closer, right? So what do you
Mhm.
think changed for you, or what was different about this year?
Honestly, the signing back was just kind of like a no brainer. I didn't really have like anything else lined up to do, and I knew that I could be successful at this because I've been doing it for 5 years. So I was like, yeah, like if I'm gonna do anything, might as well do this. And like I know I can make good money, so like it's kind of a for sure thing just based off of my effort, which I knew I could put in. But I really didn't have like any expectations for the year. Like the mindset definitely shifted of like, okay, need to hit this. I want to hit this. You know, I have goals of buying a house and, you know, paying off some school debt and different things like that that I really wanted to accomplish. So it's that in itself, just kind of being in like a tricky situation where I needed to make the money, and I needed to make the money the year before, but I didn't quite make the amount of money that I needed to start on these goals and everything. So that in itself kind of motivated me to get it together and do what I needed to do. But even like going into this year, like the expectations were kind of low. Like I wasn't even like totally for sure on it at first. I was like, yeah, I'll do 400. Why not? You know, it just seems right. And then the start of the year was a little rough. I was working like a full-time job aside from running my business as well. So my time was pretty limited with what I could put into my business. But I did like maximize the time I could. Just results were not coming in the preseason, as they usually do. Like they don't for me in where I run my business and stuff, just because of the weather and everything like that. It's a little bit hard sometimes. But this year was like extra low where I was like, we were on the cusp. I know you had said it of talking about lowering the goal come like April because I was only at $60,000. And so we were probably a week away from having that conversation. And then I honestly don't even know what happened. It's still like a blur to me. But then starting in April, I had, I think, like an 8 or 9 week span of
Hmm.
20K plus weeks, that literally skyrocketed me on the leaderboards and changed the entire trajectory of my summer and helped with like the consistency. Like this was definitely the most consistent year I've ever
Hmm.
had of like constantly getting leads, constantly doing quotes, and like making the most of every quote I was doing so I could do less work and not have to, you know, invest more money into it and go searching for more. So I think that really helped kind of change things around. And then, yeah, all of a sudden, then the next conversation we were about to have was, oh, should we like raise the goal? Like, what are we doing? And it was just like
Yeah.
kind of crazy. I know I've said this to you, but like I felt major like imposter syndrome this whole summer of like, no, like I'm not hitting this. Like this is crazy. Like it always seems so like far-fetched and like kind of out of the realm of possibility. Like I had just seen people do it and I'm like, yeah, like they're doing it. Like they can do that. Like that seems legit. But then for myself, I was like, no, like this is crazy. But once it finally became like a reality, like I was kind of by the end of summer okay with the kind of 350 type of thing, but then things again kind of took a shift and I was like, oh, like we could actually like do this. Like we could, like
Yeah.
we have the room, we could finish out and like hit 400. Like this is very, very much possible. So once I kind of had that little light bulb moment in my head, I was like, okay, like we're doing it then. Like we just
Yeah.
gotta do it. And then I think one of the last weeks, like the second to last week of August, I booked 34 grand and then produced it all like in that week as well. So that was kind of crazy for me too, but didn't look like it was going to be the summer that it was off the hop. But I'm really glad that kind of things took a shift and things kind of worked out in my favor this year with the effort I was putting in and my team and everything just kind of lined up the way I needed it to, and we were able to accomplish pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah. I mean, 6 years, and in your 6 year, $405,000, on 110 jobs, and you finished with a 59% booking rate, right? So just superb year. And yeah, I'm just gonna pull up some stats now and see, like, in the early days, it was like, you're booking 6 grand. You had a good week in March, 25 grand, but then it was five, then seven, then $1,800, then 6,000. And it's like, yeah, just this slow, like, you're working 40 hours a week roughly. and in another job. Then you're trying to chip away at this business, and it's just slow and steady, right? Like, 3 estimates here, 5 estimates there, a couple, 7, but then you went 1 for 7,
Yeah.
3, 1 for 3, but then a 4 for 8, but it was 21 grand. But then all of a sudden that was the start, right? So,
Mhm.
60 grand end of March. And then all of a sudden it's 21,000 in sales, 32, 20, 22, 22, 29, 26, 25, 11, 10, 20. Like, it was just nonstop. Then all of a sudden you're at 300K in June.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool. 400 is, within reach.
Mhm.
But then of course things slow down a little bit because, there's Stampede and there's other events that, people are going to, and, you're taking time off, enjoying the summer, and, 10 grand, 14 grand, so on. But yeah, early August, 34K week really helps. And then, 4, 7, 18, and then kind of wrapped it up. And obviously you built the machine, you had the painters, you had the equipment, you had the knowledge and know-how to do it. But it's, it really comes down to that consistency, and we see all the time people. That's one of the cool things about business is that you can have a 30K week, you can have a 40K week, and almost any franchisee can have a 30K or 40K week, but they're not going to always going to have, consistent weeks, right? It's not
Yeah.
always going to be, it'll be 30, but the ones prior were all 2 and 3, and then the ones after are 2
Mhm.
and 3, and then they average, 8 to 10 or 12K a week. But here all of a sudden it's like, the average of like 25K for, a solid 10 weeks. And then boom, you're booked at just over 300K. And it's like, okay, I can do this. So,
Mhm.
so that being said, so like what, I guess, like, what did you learn, this year and with your time? Like, what are you able to, like, I guess, what are you taking with you as you leave Student Works, kind of like on to the next chapters? Like, what really stands out in that sense? Other than the money, like, obviously you made some money, and you can talk a little bit about maybe like how much you can earn on those kinds of numbers, because sometimes people are totally unaware of, what the actual
Yeah.
profit is. So money, and what skills do you think?
Oh, that's a long list for sure. All the things I'm taking with me, that I'm super appreciative. Obviously, the money is fantastic, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of us keep going back. Is once we learn like what we're fully capable of and what we can hit as individuals, that's really like the true determining factor. That's the only thing that we can control in this situation is what do I want to put into this. Now, obviously, people can say no to you, things cannot go as planned, but the only thing that you can fully control is yourself and what you want to put into it. So if yeah, I can put in this many hours a week and hit these goals and stuff, then there's nothing stopping you. Um, Off of 400,000, I believe I'm like with, kickback and all the things, probably around like 140,000, give or take, obviously, depending on how everything kind of wraps up there. That's kind of crazy. That's more than both of my parents' individual salaries with, my mom having like 15 years of school, has been in her work for, 15, 20 years. And she's stoked for me as well when I was like, hey, I'm going to make more than you this year if everything goes fine. She was like, you do that, honey. That's amazing. Good job. And like they still don't even fully understand it, even after 6 years, how everything works. But they really are like, happy and proud that I'm able to do this and kind of put up a good life for myself there. So obviously the money has been super, super beneficial the last 6 years to kind of set myself up for the future and be able to provide for myself, my friends, my family, everything like that. So that's been really life changing. Many, many things I will take from this experience. Obviously, knowing like the effect that I have on people, the effect that I've been able to have on my painters over the last 6 years and keeping them coming back and having good relationships where they reach out to me after, even if they're not on the team, and kind of just helping each other out and just kind of rooting for each other on the sidelines, and having people just really confide in me with personal things and feel really safe in this work environment. And for like some of them the first time ever after having really horrible management
Hmm.
experiences in the past. That has been literally one of the most rewarding things for me over the last 6 years that I take a lot of pride in, is creating a really safe and fun and positive working environment for my painters. Now, even though I won't be a manager in my next role, I still want to kind of foster that any way I can in my life and in my job. with, other people that I'll be working around and coworkers and different things, and it's just kind of creating the same environment and making everyone feel super safe and comfortable with me, and kind of taking a leadership position wherever I can, because I've really enjoyed that the past 6 years and everything that comes with that. As well, just the learning things of like the common sense things that everyone like thinks about, like time management, and like how that shows respect to people or disrespect, and like taking that into every part of my life, not just things that are making me money, like showing up for quotes or things. Like if I say I'm going to be somewhere at 6:30 for dinner, I'm there probably 10-15 minutes early, just sitting in the parking lot, waiting for you to show up, because I want to make sure that everyone in my life knows that I respect them, I respect their time, and just kind of putting my best foot forward in anything that I'm doing. Honestly, like the confidence that I've gained over the last 6 years, I know my mom mentioned it. We had a good chat in my third year, I believe, about things that have changed, and she's like, honestly, like the confidence of you, and like confident in like quick answers and responding to people when they ask you things, and just kind of how you carry yourself now versus a couple of years ago before this is kind of crazy. Like she was kind of in awe of the whole thing. So definitely that is, confidence. And even if I don't know it, like I'm pretty good now at like faking it till you make it type of thing, and like just kind of figuring it out as you go. So even confidence when I don't fully know all the answers has been a really, really great skill that I think we've picked up through this. And then just like knowing what I'm capable of, because if you had have asked 18-year-old Kenzie 6 years ago if she thought this would be her life or what she'd be doing or anything like that, she would have literally told you were crazy, and that was not possible, and that was not in the realm of anything. So honestly, like I'm just super grateful for the experience, and I'll take everything that everyone's taught me over the last 6 years into the rest of my life. And obviously I'll still be close with all these people for forever. And I'll still be around. Can't get rid of me that easy. So I'll still be around and coming to events and stuff, just in a different role. So I'm really excited for that change and everything. And yeah, just taking kind of everything I've learned over the last 6 years and just kind of growing with that.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's wild to think that year one you did 40K and here you are year six doing 400K. It's
Yeah.
not it's not, I mean, I don't know anyone, I mean, other than some of the people that have maybe jumped into pro works that have, kind of pushed those numbers, but it's very rare for people that do, on the lower end to A, want to come back, B, come back and do, better, and then C, stick around for a super long time and just do tremendously well. You're in the top 10, this year for all franchisees, which is like, incredible. And, top in Alberta, and just like some, really cool milestones that you're able to accomplish in your kind of time here, which is really, really, really cool. So, other than that, I guess like, what advice would you have for anyone that is maybe looking to come into doing something like this?
Obviously I'd pick up, a little piece of advice like every day pretty much, of things that I tell people, rookie operators and different things like that, if they're not sure of coming back for a following year or anything. But I'd say to anyone looking to get into this for the first time and this just seems kind of crazy, or there's a lot of question marks or unknowns, I would say just trust your gut, but also just take the plunge. Like genuinely, you will not be sorry that you did. Even if like the years don't go how you want it to. Honestly, those were some of like the best years for me learning wise, were my worst years, where I had issues and I was able to really reflect on them after the fact and just come back stronger. So yeah, like everything is not going to go exactly the way you want it to, and you will find in this that there is a lot of stuff that you cannot control. And for me myself, I like being in control, so that was a hard thing to kind of learn. But once you kind of figure that out, and obviously there will be people in your life telling you like, I don't know, I'm not too sure, like, are you sure about this, or thinking one way or the other about this opportunity. But genuinely, what I've always told people since kind of the last like 3 or 4 years has been like, this experience genuinely changed my life. The people I've met here will be most of my wedding party will be from Student Works. They're amazing people. They're fantastic. They push you so hard and they make you into a better person than you ever thought imaginable just by being surrounded by like-minded people who are super driven and super positive and just want to like have fun and but also make a lot of money and be super successful. So that's super great having that community and that environment to just push you and help you, and like you're never alone in this. So even if you feel alone or feel confused, as soon as you get out to one of our events, you will instantly feel at home and instantly connect with people like you never have before. And it might seem scary. It definitely was scary for me. And honestly, I still get scared to this day, even 6 years in, doing things for the first time or getting back into it after, not doing it for a few months. It's still scary. It's still daunting because you don't know what's going to happen. Even as a sixth year going into a fresh year or whatever, you still don't know what could
Mhm.
happen. So I'd say just like put your heart into it. Don't second guess yourself. Just jump right in with both feet and with like all the support that you're going to have behind you and, the love and cheerleaders kind of on your side. You will do things that you never thought possible. You will genuinely have like no regrets after even a single summer, but I always recommend to people in their rookie year, I'm like, at least do it for two. Always 2 summers because then the learning curve is done and then you can come back even more confident and do even better than you ever thought possible. So yeah, just give it your all, and if it works out and you do amazing, great. If not, you're gonna learn a hell of a lot about yourself and about business that you can't learn anywhere else. So no matter what, it's a win-win, and you won't be sorry that you did it.
Awesome. Yeah, I would have said the exact same thing. It is, I mean, obviously I'm here 18 years later after running a franchise, and it's constantly learning, constantly growing, and such an amazing community, group of people, and yeah, it's infectious, and yeah, the years that you don't see as much success or the things that don't go according to plan, you really take away a lot, and you're just thrown so much responsibility, and it's tough to find that elsewhere, and it's those growing pains that you want to kind of look for, not to sabotage things, but you want to look
Yeah.
for them and see the positive in them, and then really realize. And sometimes it takes a little while, but a couple years later, you look back and it's like, holy smokes, I got so much out of that. So,
Yeah.
well, anyways, thank you. We'll wrap things up here, but thank you for the 6 years, for your time, for your feedback, for all the interviews that we've done.
Um,
You've given us a lot. You've helped me a lot. I mean, it's been fun, obviously, to work with you, as your kind of personal and direct coach and support. And it's been amazing to see your growth over the last 6. It's. I mean, you're still short, but other than that, you're just you've grown as a human, and it's been wonderful to see and really really cool. So I'm really proud of what you've accomplished. So thank you for
Thank
sticking
you.
it out for 6 years, because that's a little on the rare side, but I'm happy that you did. So thank you.